Hey there my lovelies, and welcome to my BookTube channel, The Sassy Library Fox. My name is V, and today I'm already going for my April to be read. The first quarter of the year is already over. I have no idea how that happened. It went by way too quickly, but yeah, before we even know it, it will be my December to be read. So let's just look forward to spring and to the warm weather instead and not think about the end of the year once again. I got my coffee at the ready. I got a little cheat sheet because, as you all know, this to be read list, my April to be read list, is also always spring cleaning. And if you followed my channel those last 5 years, you know what spring cleaning means. For everyone who doesn't know, well, we will get to that at the ending of the video. First things first, I want to talk about the 2 books I'm going to read in April. And since spring in general is always very busy and my April is going to be even more busy than usually, I'm on a business trip and things like that. So yeah, I decided I would go for 2 books I can read fairly quickly and write short reviews about. I know that those 2 books won't take all too long to review and don't need in-depth reviews. So yeah, I decided on those 2 books due to that, and also because we're going to do my spring cleaning as well. So yeah, better don't add more books to my currently reading than are already on there. Yeah, okay, this said, I'm gonna take a sip here. And let's head to the first book I want to read in April, and it is The Crash by Freida McFadden. So far, the only other Freida McFadden book I read was The Boyfriend, and I really liked that one. It was interesting, it was something different. It was nice to guess who the murderer was, and yeah, it threw me for a loop, quite honestly. So I loved it in my thrillers. Also, I could read it because there were no children involved and no abductions. I'm very yeah, I tend to get emotional with themes like that, so I don't read thrillers that have anything to do with kids. Due to my own kid. Ever since I got my own kid, I can't read books like that anymore. But yeah, this one, I heard so many great things about The Crash, but I'm kind of worried going into this because in some way we are dealing with children here. Because the protagonist in this book, the MC, is Tegan, and Tegan is 8 months pregnant when her car dies in a blizzard. And to add insult to injury, she hurts her ankle as well. So with a broken ankle and with a dead car, she is afraid that she and her unborn child might die in that blizzard. But then she comes across a couple that offers her to get through the blizzard in their cabin, and at first glance they seem to be really nice and friendly, and she's very grateful they're taking her in. But yeah, since this is a thriller, we can already assume that things won't stay that way, and that something about that super nice couple is quite fishy. So I'm very curious about that one. As already said, the MC in this book, Tegan, is pregnant, 8 months along. So yeah, I'm very curious which kind of role this might play with the couple. I sense really bad vibes and disturbing vibes, but yeah, we will see if I will be able to actually read this, since there is an unborn child involved. but I wanted to read it for a long while, and sometimes you just gotta take the plunge and see if you can handle the book or not, which I'm trying to do in April. Okay, so this is the first book, and the second book I want to read in April, and which took me ages, literally ages to get into my hands, is The Trials of Apollo, the Tyrant's Tomb. It's the fourth book in the series already, and it took me about a year, I think, or even more, even longer. I think I read the third book in 2025 at the beginning or so. So it took me very, very long to get a copy of this one into my hands because it was always borrowed from the library. But recently, I actually managed to get it into my hands, and I decided I would read it in April because, quite honestly, I don't know who else wants to borrow it again. So I will try to read it as long as I can. And Tyrant's Tomb, as already said, is already the fourth book in the series. I personally love the Trials of Apollo so much so far. They are very serious because, well, Apollo is a god who has been around for thousands of years, and now he is in human form and needs to go through a couple of trials to get back to the Olymp. His father kicked him out. And for me personally, this series is really great because it's very serious. It addresses more serious topics than the other Riordan books. Maybe that's due to Apollo being an adult, actually, just in the body of a teen. But also the character arc of Apollo is just great to watch and to see. He is learning with every book something new about himself and the people around him, and it's so nice to see how kind of arrogant he was at the beginning of the series and how close he came with the other characters, how he sees the demigods as family now and as his friends and not as expendable mortals anymore. So his character arc is really, really great. And after the third book played in the labyrinth, underneath the surface, I can only assume that this one is going to play, in the world of the dead. I mean, Nico is definitely involved in that one. I heard that already. So I'm totally looking forward to that. I love Nico D'Angelo. He's one of my favorite characters ever. And yeah, after the shocking ending of the third book, I'm really scared what is going to happen in here. I didn't expect that at all. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this, and the cover already looks very scary. So I won't spoil anything. I won't talk about what this is actually about because I'm kind of scared I might spoil you for the entire series because, as already said, I read all the other 3 books that came before and went before. So yeah. Okay, so those are the 2 books I want to read in April, and judging from my former reviews, I'm pretty certain that those won't be all too long reviews. And yeah, that's the reason why I chose them. Because quite honestly, my review backlog is out of control. I tried to catch up to it, but turns out I always left the huge reviews with a lot of analyzing, and that would take about an essay to write for later. And now there are like 22 books or so I didn't review yet. Yeah, bad time management at its best. Okay, but, and here we come to the spring cleaning part. Every April I take a closer look on my currently reading on Goodreads. and I look up how many books are there and which ones I need to get off the list because they've been around way too long. By now I managed to get off some of the books. With every spring cleaning, one of them got away. I had on there for years. Yeah, but there are still some books I started to read in December or January but never truly picked up, which is a shame because they are all great. I'm certain of that. I just didn't get to them because life is busy. With work, with my family, with everything that's been going on lately, and that was quite a lot. I'm not going into detail here, but yeah, my family has struggled with health problems lately. A lot of them affecting basically not just my immediate family, but also the extended one. So there was a lot going on, and yeah, I didn't have a lot of time to read due to that. Let's get to the books that need to get off my currently reading. I currently have 6 books on there. With 2 of them, I'm pretty close to finishing them, so I won't mention them here. They will be mentioned in my March wrap-up, hopefully, fingers crossed. But the other books that are still on my currently reading is Idle Price by Katie Salvo, and I started that book, or to read that book, in December, but then a lot of other things came between this, and I really want to read this one in April and get it off my currently reading because I know it's going to be amazing. I love Katie Salvo because they are a great author. They write awesome K-pop romances. I've been a huge fan of the first trilogy, and this is another book series about 2 idol rivals that fall in love behind the scenes and that are actually shipped by the fans as well. Which basically was the reason they are spending more time together, but they are still trainees and they are fighting for a spot in the spotlight, you might say. So yeah, rivals to lovers. This sounds just so amazing, but I didn't, for the life of me, I didn't find the time to pick it up yet. Then the second book that's still on my currently reading is Half City by Kate Golden. Kate Golden asked me if I wanted to read and review that book, and I already had an arc of it. So that was really kind and nice of her to reach out to me. I'm currently at the halfway mark with this book as I record this video, so I'll hopefully get through it in April because so far it's been great. It's basically some sort of, well, think Buffy the Vampire Slayer at an academic setting. And you get a really good idea because the MC Viv is a hunter, a demon hunter at that, and they are learning about all the different kinds of demons and monsters and everything, and she kind of develops a thing for her enemy, the training teacher, who also happens to be an ex-demon. Yeah, anyway, it's amazing, it's awesome. I really need to finish this in April because it's great. It's awesome so far. As already said before, I just didn't have a lot of time to pick it up yet. And the last book that will go on my spring cleaning list is a book I've had on this list already. I spoke about it with my spring cleaning video 2 years ago. And it is Winter by Marissa Mayer. And while I managed to get off the other 2 big books that were on my currently reading for years, I still didn't manage to pick up that one. But now that I started to read longer books in January and in February again, I figured I might just tackle that one for real now and finish it. It might be 800 pages, but I'm determined to finish this book. Maybe not in April, let's be realistic here. Let's be totally realistic here. Maybe not in April, but definitely in May or at least in June. I really want this book of my currently reading because it's been there way too long, and I actually love the characters. My sister already finished this book and said it was great, and yeah, I just have to overcome my fear of picking this book up. I can do it. If you want, you can write encouraging comments down below and tell me how great the book is so that I finally have the motivation to actually go through with this. Yeah, okay, so this said, that's it with my April to be read. I can't believe it's April already. I'm sorry for the bad lighting in this video because outside it's really gloomy and dark. And yeah, I would love to hear if you read those two books and if you enjoyed them. Will The Crash be one of those books I will have trouble to read? Is it hard to read if you don't want children to get hurt in your books? If you've read that one, please let me know in the comments down below. And yeah, the Tyrant's Tom needed to go on there. It needed to be on this to be read because I've been dying to read that one for a year now. And I finally got it into my greedy fingers. Yeah. I hope I will be able to go with my spring cleaning. If you want to get some books of your currently reading, feel free to join me in spring cleaning and do some spring cleaning of your own. And yeah, I guess that's it. We're already at the ending of my video and there's nothing left to say except of take care, stay healthy and safe, and see you around the next time. Bye!